So take this one with a grain of salt. GameMasters here, and today I saw a leak of sorts that gave a summary of each chapter in Vecna Eve of Ruin. I can't say how accurate it is. I haven't seen the book, and I haven't seen the chapter titles, but what I did see makes a good bit of sense, lending this to being pretty legitimate. That said, if you wish to avoid spoilers, turn back now. I cannot say if this leak, pardon the pun, holds water. While we are given a fair amount of overview, the details within are fairly sparse. But that said, let's go ahead and jump into it. Chapter 1 has the adventure starting off in Neverwinter. Similar to the adventure Nest of the Eldritch Eye, you are tasked with searching out Cult of Vecna members as they have been kidnapping the prestigious nobles from the city. They are attempting to extract secrets, much like Zalrir was doing in Eldritch Eye. However, at a crucial moment, you are whisked away to the City of Doors, Sigil, which is in the Planescape setting. Now, how this makes sense is that there are too many ties to the Eldritch Eye adventure. And while it runs a parallel path to that adventure, the details that I just pointed out, it makes it different enough to easily be a continuation. Chapter 2. Chapter 2 has you meeting Mordenkainen, Tasha, and Illustrial. They explain that Vecna is attempting to perform a ritual that will remake the multiverse into his own vision of what he feels it should be. Mordenkainen then explains that to stop Vecna, the Rod of Seven Parts must be found and assembled. He tells you that the first part is found in the Forgotten Realms under the guard of followers of Loth, and that you must hit the underground, the Underdark in order to get it. Okay, so we know that the Rod of Seven Parts is the MacGuffin here in this adventure, and that we'd need to hop across the multiverse in order to find the different parts. Now, this still makes sense, and does give a bit of legitimacy to this leak overall. Chapter 3 has you going after the second part of the rod. You learn that it is located on a crashed Spelljammer ship called the Lambent Zenith, that it is crashed into a dying god's body in the Astral Sea. This leak explains that a dragon-like creature has consumed the second part of the rod and has retreated further into the heart of this god. And I'm going to assume that this floating god is similar to the same one that we saw that makes up the floating island found in Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel. Images from official D&D press material also shows a wrecked Spelljammer ship. Now, before jumping further into this leak, I first want to thank these leak supporters. Okay, that could sound bad. These divulging supporters, as their contributions to the channel have gone above and beyond and helps me to keep the lights on and gas in the car. If you'd like to contribute by becoming a Patreon or YouTube member, I'll leave a link down in the description. And to giving the video a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel, that goes a very, very long way in support as well. Chapter 4 has you going after the third piece of the Rod of Seven Parts, which is located in Mornland, which is found in Eberron. But moreover, it is located inside of a massive construct. There is a map on Beetle and Grimm's website that also suggests that you are going to be inside of a massive construct. So again, there is some evidence, some very compelling evidence here that this is a legitimate leak, or that the leak itself is legitimate. Chapter 5 has you going to Ravenloft, and I personally saw that Death House, the adventure from Curse of Strahd, was going to make an appearance in this new Vecna Eve of Ruin adventure, and it is in this chapter that seemingly happens. You will face off with Strahd to obtain the section of the rod in this chapter. Chapter 6 has you going to Krynn, teaming up with a pack of noble werewolves, and that Lord Soth has taken the fifth piece of the rod to a place called the Three Moons Vault. You must find a means to enter that vault, get the rod, and this hints at perhaps freeing a resistance leader in the process. Doesn't specify what. Chapter 7 has you traveling to Oerth of the Greyhawk setting in order to get the sixth piece. Here, the Lich, I'm going to mispronounce it, I always have, the Lich Asirarak has created the Tomb of Wayward Souls, and that you must defeat another lich, Rurkar, in order to obtain the next to last piece of the Rod of Seven Parts. Chapter 8 has you hit the trail to Avernus, the first layer of the 9 hells, where Tiamat has taken the final piece. Here, you must hit up a casino called the Red Belvedere, not to be confused with the vodka. It's a casino. And it is in here that you will obtain the final piece of the rod. Again, on the Beetle and Grimm website, we're given a screenshot of a coin featuring a claw with the words Red Belvedere Casino. Again, more evidence that this is legitimate. Chapter 9. Be careful, and this is going to be a big spoiler. Has you returning back to Sigil, and now that you have all 7 parts of the Rod of 7 Parts, you again are going to meet with Mordenkainen, Illustrial, and Tasha. And Mordenkainen reveals that he is actually Cass in disguise, takes the rod, subdues Illustrial and Tasha, and flees to a place called Pandemonium to attempt to release Miska the wolf spider, whereupon they will try to stop Vecna's ritual. Chapter 10 has you chasing down Cass, but also getting embroiled in a battle between his demonic forces and the demon god Loth, who is evidently teamed up with Vecna. We are told that you will have 2 options. You can either rush Cass or attempt to manipulate the battle. Cass, either way, eventually explains where Vecna is so that you can help put a stop to him. Chapter 11, the final chapter, has you exploring the Cave of Shattered Reflection, where Vecna is performing his ritual of remaking. He is part of the way through the ritual, and as such, as a result of that, he has created a few demi-planes that offer up twisted views of the new, more sinister multiverse that he is attempting to create. You will need to move through those demi-planes to find a way to enter Vecna's ritual chamber and put a stop to him, which should be fairly easy because it's explained that he is in a very weakened state as a result of performing his ritual up to this point. And that's what we're provided. Now, I gotta admit, I'm a touch hesitant to believe it, but then again, I'm also seeing a few things here listed that coincide with other hints that the creators, Amanda Hammond, Chris Perkins, and Ron Lunding have provided to us in their YouTube videos about this adventure. I think the biggest thing against me believing this is that Mordenkainen is actually Cass, a vampire. Real fast, I wanted to point out why I feel uneasy with Mordenkainen being Cass. I was discussing this in my Discord, and be sure to hit that up and join, by the way. We have some really wicked and fun discussions in there. But one of my friends, Seraphis, sums up my thoughts perfectly. I wasn't aware Cass had levels in wizardry, or that he'd been able to deceive an archmage of Tasha's power. I mean, there's a reason why Mordenkainen, Tasha, Bigby, Autolute, Rary, Tensor, Dwalmage, Nistral, Elminster, Dalamar, Raceland, and Fistandalis, holy shit, did I miss anyone, are considered the greatest planeswalking mages in the multiverse. They would be able to see an illusion or conjuration magic that a vampire is using. So anyway, yeah, sorry, I wanted to just point that out as to why I felt a little uneasy, and like I said, Seraphis kind of summed that up. Back to the main video. And we still have this image from WotC's press materials. I didn't see anything in any of the description that connects to who this may be, unless this is Cass and Vecna in some form of a flashback. But that would mean that WotC is retconning a bit, because by the time they met, Vecna had already been a lich. And the blonde guy here is clearly Vecna pre-lich. But then again, as mentioned, there is some compelling evidence that this is legit. So what do you guys think? Does this all sound legitimate? I guess we'll find out in a few days, because, I mean, if you did pre-order Vecna Eve of Ruin, you're going to get access to the digital version on May 7th, just a few days away from now. And, of course, at that point, you can confirm if this leak is true or not. What are your general thoughts about this? Talk to me down in the comments, and until next our paths cross, may you win big at the Red Belvedere, and share your loot with me.